Blessed ones of the nations of the world. One more time, thus is your brother Dan Moses, or say your Sakodie of TRC Ghana, coming to you with the program Testimony, New World Disorder, and with the final part of this episode, which is what to do. This is part 5, and it is what to do. Humanity and the nations of the world. Akufo to the program Testimony, New World Disorder. In the face of the unthinkable wickedness that fellow human beings in Ghana and their cronies in America, political minds, diplomatic minds, religious minds, humanity and the nations of the world, that we get it clear. Let's understand that the chopping off of my fingers that we saw, that bloody image, what the killers of Jerry John Rawlings decided to do to me, to silence me in the land of America. That plot involved a staff of the Ghana embassy who, because he's perpetrating evil, sometimes he poses under the name of Kweku, and other times he poses under the name of Kofi. For years he sent to my job whatever abusive, whatever attacks, whatever lawlessness that political mind, diplomatic mind, religious mind of his nation want him to perpetrate against me. They carry it out. So the chopping off of my finger, as they did to Jerry John Rawlings, included evil minds of my national embassy of Washington, D.C. So that we have gotten understanding from part 1, 2, 3, 4 as to how evil minds have done to their own nation of Ghana, to America, and to the nations of to humanity, to innocent Muslims around the globe, to innocent Ghanaian lives. There is still what to do. What to do is that whether we are in the United Nations, as staff of the United Nations, whether you are the Secretary General, whether you are the Commissioner for whichever, whether you are the whatever, whether you are a congressman, whether you are a senator, or you are a staff of the White House, you are an ordinary American taxpayer. They love taking your taxes. Whether you are head of an academic institution in Ghana, you are head of the community, you are an ordinary citizen in the Ghanaian community, who has been subjected to slavery and human enslavement by your own government and by religious forces. There is what to do. Whether you are a preacher, whether you are an imam, no matter who you are, there is what to do in the face of this unthinkable global wickedness. Oh, whether you are my family member or not, there is what to do. Whether you are my friend or not, there is what to do. Whether you are a lawyer, a medical doctor, whose mind has been taken to be killing innocent Ghanaians, using the medical field to be killing them in secrecy or not, there is what to do. There is what to do. Or you are a nurse, you are colluding with global forces and a global evil agenda. There is still what to do. Humanity and the nations of the world are covered to the program Testimony New World Disorder. What to do is to understand that our deeds are the United Nations. Our deeds are the US House of Congress, at the White House, at the Senate, as a president, as an ordinary member of the human race. Our deeds upon the earth, God that created you upon this earth and knows you more than you do know yourself, He is keeping record of your deeds upon the earth. And it is that record of His that He's keeping that matters. It doesn't matter how long you serve as a Secretary General of the United Nations. And the records of men that know that you did. It doesn't matter how long that you served as a senator, as a parliamentarian, as a president, how long you lived your life on earth. There are some that are born and within a matter of a week, they die. As I speak, there is somebody that can be identified as the longest living being upon the earth. No matter who we are, it is not the records of men about you upon the earth that matter. It is the record of God concerning you that stands and that gives you a place. God's testimony concerning you is what stands in eternity. Therefore, in our deeds, in the United Nations, at the Congress, at the Senate, at the Parliament of Ghana, in that corporate body, in that community in which we live, we must always make sure that we are living the life that God's Spirit is leading through us. We are doing the will of the God that created you, and not the will of men, not the will of lobbyists of the Parliament, lobbyists of the Congress, lobbyists of the Senate, not their will, but the will of God, not serving, offering, being men pleasers to get good records of them, but doing what God brought you upon the earth to do and to finish it. You could finish it in 1 week and God will take you away. Some will have the opportunity to finish theirs in 90 years and they are taken away. It doesn't matter how long. What matters is that you have done it and you have finished it. God bless you. Let's go into the Bible. Genesis chapter 5 verse 1 downwards. This is the book of the generation of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. In the day when they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and begat sons, and begat a son in his likeness, and after his image. Shall get here someday. And called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he begat Seth were 800 years. And he begat sons and daughters. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years. And he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years. And he died. And Enos lived 90 years and begat Canaan. And Enos lived after he begat Canaan 805 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Cain lived 70 years and begat Mahalalel. And Canaan lived after he begat Mahalalel 840 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years. We are reading different years of the number of days that people lived. 910 years. And he begat Jared. And Mahalalel lived after he begat Jared 830 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years. And he died. And Jared lived 162 years and he begat Enoch. And Jared lived after he begat Enoch 800 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years. And he died. And Enoch lived 65 years. And he begat Methuselah. And Enoch, let's read this, 22. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. Let's hear the testimony of God concerning Enoch. It continues. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. Let us say it. For God took him from the surface of the earth, and he was not. Humanity and the nations of the world, all the people that we read about, there was not one of them that we read that he was not. God took him. And God has given the reason why he took him out of the surface of God, out of the surface of the earth, because he walked with him righteously upon the earth. And God took him. We read that Enoch lived for 365 years. And yet the writing of God concerning Enoch is that Enoch walked with God, and he was not, because God took him when his works were over. Humanity and the nations of the world, all the people that we read about, some lived over 800 years, some lived over 900 years, Methuselah, who was the son of Enoch. He lived 969 years. He was the oldest person that ever lived upon the surface of the earth. We never read that God took him out of the earth because of his righteous walk with God. Humanity and the nations of the world, why do we have to know this? You see this? This is the final farewell records of men concerning Reverend Dr. David Nabemado, who was killed in secrecy by the terror network of Nana Addo Akufo, putting the face of his own family member on a crime that they might look innocent. Humanity and the nations of the world. In this wonderful booklet, you would be shocked to know that probably there were some at the funeral of Reverend Dr. David Nabemado while he was here alive. Maybe they hated him and didn't want to see him alive. In this book written by men, you would never see any of such writings here. Oh, wonderful records. Wonderful writing concerning him by men. They are in here. Besides this, God knows that Reverend Dr. David Nabemado, his record, which is not here, God knows the truth behind the taking of his life out of the surface of the earth. It is written in the book of God. Don't you forget, in heaven we are told that a book was open. That is the book of life. And beside that book, other books were open. In the book of life, his name was in there. Beside that, the books that were open, every deed of Reverend Dr. David Nabemado upon the earth, that is known by God that he did, they are writing in those books. Those writings in the books of God in heavens above, they are not here. They are not here because this was written by men. Let men write all their writings concerning you as a Secretary General, as an MP, as a parliamentarian. They will write all that they want to write. But it is God's writing concerning you, God's testimony concerning your life that you lived here. It is that which stands. Let's look here. You see this? Very heavy and thick. This was prepared. This is the testimony, the writings of men, family members, friends, co-workers of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings. You would never find in this book that there were those that were, when he was alive, hated him and wanted to see him out of life. Some of them were at the funeral. Some of them have their writings here. Beautiful testimony. They would never wrote that they hated the man and wanted to see him out of life. You will never find that here. However, the truth is, in God's book, God's books, beside the book of life, in which His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings' book name is in, and in the other books that were open, God's book that are open above, that are written in the heavens above, they bear the true records of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, and he did is this in the heavens above. That is what matters most. Ghana, you were at the funeral of His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings on the 27th of January 2020. Maybe you watched on the TV or on the social media. There was a man that has also written some beautiful things here in this book. He was made to stand up to read his tribute concerning Jerry John Rawlings. Although the people that were gathered there, none of them was God. Yet they knew that the writing of that man in this book were completely hypocritical, and they were full of lies, untruth. He was pretending. When that man started reading the tribute, something happened. The entire people, they were booing. Hey, oh, it's unimaginable. This happened at Jerry John Rawlings' funeral. I'm talking about the man Nana Addo Akufo Addo, the man who is the brain behind his killing. The man's life had been taken in secrecy. When he was alive, you have hated him all your life. He tried to be your friend, and you took advantage of that with your clicks external, and you killed him. Now you come to stand on the platform and you want to heap praises on the man. Even men at the funeral did know that. There was one African who was standing at the grounds on that 27th of September when the tributes were being read. He stood with his right hand lifted up in the skies. When Nana Addo Akufo Addo started reading his tribute, was called to read the tribute, that African turned his back, and all the gathering saw that he has turned his back on Nana Addo Akufo Addo, and his right hand was lifted up in the skies. While the booing was going on. Ghana and the nations of the world, the end result was the crashing of the SMP. Because what was happening in Ghana, it was controlling global events. The SMP was crashed, the stock, that very day. Ghana and the nations of the world. Akwaba to the program, testimony, e-world disorder. This is a record that men wrote concerning Ebony. There were those that when she was alive, they hated her because of the songs because of her gift, because of her talent. You will not see their hatred here written. Colorful writings by men. In the book of God, God has it written. All the hatred that people hated her while she was alive here, they are all written there. So that when God on the day before the great white throne of God, God is reading what Ebony did in life and what men did to her. Those that plotted her killing, they are there and they will hear. You plotted and killed her. God is not ashamed to say that. Paakwesi Emisa Atta, His Excellency. These are the records of men. Very colorful. He's bidding the world farewell. You will never see it written in there that her wife knew that the man was hated by some politician, diplomat in Ghana while he was here. You will not see it in here. But in the book of God, the truth is written there. And that is what matters. So nothing in regarding sexual hypocrisy, Ebisata, Reverend Dr. David Nabemado, Jerry John Rawlings, Ebony, Kaba. Just nothing is hidden from the eyes of God. And God knows it all. And that is what matters most. And not the testimony, the records of men concerning you upon the earth. Methuselah lived 669 years. My Lord Christ Jesus lived 33 years and finished his work in glory. And he is seated at the right hand side of the Father. According to the Bible, which is true, of me and of you and of every man, Methuselah, who lived 969 years, would also appear before the judgment throne of God. He would appear before Christ Jesus my Lord, and his deeds shall be judged by the man that lived only 33 years upon the earth. So it is not how long you have lived upon the earth. It is not how long you have served as a Secretary General. It is not how long you have served as the Senator, the President, the Parliamentarian, the Judge. It is not what men know that you did with your life. It is what God knows that he did through you in serving the people that he entrusted to you, in serving humanity. God has it all written. Don't be moved. About what men are recording concerning you. Some would that you are out of life. Don't be moved about the hatred, about their intent to get you out of life. Don't be moved. God has got you covered, and it's written his records concerning you. At the end of life, that is what will stand. Not what your preacher has testifies concerning you. Not what your family, the head of your family. No, that is not what would stand at the judgment day. It is not what your classmates, it is not what your co-workers, it is not what your co-parliamentarians. Some of them don't know that some lobbyists paid you, they bribed you behind the scene. Otherwise, that bill that you helped to get passed, you would not have done it. They don't, you understand? But God knows that. Humanity and the nations of the world. While I was at the funeral of Jerry John Rawlings, there is one of the terror network members of Nana Addo Akufo. It was being networked with through my phone by the terror network of Nana Addo Akufo. This is his number 024 305 8180. This individual is of the terror network of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. And he has been seeking my destruction in secrecy. While I was at the funeral, they bought his mind to be networking for them. I responded to him accordingly. Yesterday, since that time, 27th of January, I have not heard from that guy. Up to that, yesterday, they thought they were busy. They networked with him while I was in this room to send down a call into my phone. I hung up the phone. I called him back. When he said he started speaking, I cut the phone. Today, I had to call him back and tell him, yes, you called me. I had to cut your phone. This is the reason why I had to cut your phone. Humanity and the nations of the world. Akwa to the program, Testimony, New World Disorder. You know why they had to make him buy his mind and make him contact me yesterday? Ghana, America, there is an amount that I'm supposed to, payment that I'm supposed to pay in US dollars, and I'm supposed to use a card in making that payment. As I speak today, what the terror network members of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, what their stakes in America, their mind is, I have not paid for that money because I don't have money. Their records, their mind is that although they are seeking to use the medical field to get me assassinated, they must create a false impression that I don't have money to go get medical treatment. That is why I have not gone to the hospital. They want to play smart. They made that guy is one of the individuals that were working on my land for me, and they were using him against me. They had to make him send a call because they know that from an account that I operate in the US, I had made a withdrawal from that account, and that account doesn't have enough money to pay that amount that I'm supposed to pay in the US. It doesn't have. I'm supposed to pay some amount of $500 and over $500 to an institution, name withheld for some reason. So their mind is, they have been able to run me financially broke. I don't have money to pay that money, that amount, and that is why I'm not receiving medical treatment for the injury, for my broken arm. That's it. But the God of the Bible knows that that is their mind, that is their thinking. What does God know concerning that money that I'm yet to pay? What God knows is, I had gone to the Kotoka International Airport. Even finding in many airports in Ghana, around the globe, you can get a credit card where you can deposit your money to make payment right there at the airport. I had even gone to the airport to go find out whether Ghana we have, understand, the evil wickedness, governance in stupidity of killing of their own people. They don't have such service at the Kotoka International Airport. Yet they have willful crime covering programs by the government to cover up the killing of Kofi Annan. God knows that I went there. I want to find means to load money on a card so I can pay that amount. So they have played smart. Use that guy. They want to create an impression that I don't have money to continue the work, my building project. That is why I have not been able to let him continue. He is a dangerous guy, and I must cut him off. That is why I've cut him off. The reason why I have the reason why I have not paid that amount is that I need to get, as I'm here in the US, the bank card that I'm operating, the bank, we don't have the bank division here in Ghana, and I'm not able to put deposit amount on that card. So I'm restricted by that. So it is that I have to be able to get a bank card, open a bank account, and be able to, with my money deposited in that account, be able to settle that amount. Otherwise, they are in their minds thinking that I don't have money to go get medical treatment. They are playing that smart to cover the fact that they are using the medical field to kill my people, and they seek to get my life ended using the medical field. So I don't have money, that is why. But in the book of God, God knows that if I have been able to open a bank account today, I'll be able to pay the money today. That is what God knows. That is what matters. Blessed ones of the nations of it is God's records concerning you that matter most, not the records of men. Akwaba to the program, Testimony, New World, Disorder. Live your life with the truth that God is writing about you. Serve in that office where God has put you. Serve in the United Nations as though you are doing it unto God. Serve in the Congress. Serve in the Senate. Serve your nation, Ghana, no matter the hatred of your co-politicians, diplomats, religious leaders, even your own family members, your friends. Keep doing the work, what you are called to do, as though God put you there to do it. And don't seek praises from men. Just live your life according to what God is writing. At the end of it, that is what would stand. And Enoch walked with God. That is God's testimony. And he was not. Everyone else, and he died. And you don't hear what they did upon the earth. What God said, the extra testimony, the true record of Enoch is that 365 years, he finished his work. He didn't live as long as Methuselah. Yes, however, he finished his work, and God says that he took him out. God shall take you out of the surface of the earth when your work is over. Your killers cannot kill you. Stand in the courage of that office and exercise by the grace of God upon you, and finish your work and live. Let them hate me. Let them terrorize me. Let them make up all sorts of lies, false evidence, false witnesses. God's testimony concerning me is what stands. Concerning you is what stands. God bless you, and God bless my homeland, Ghana. Bye bye.